let's be honest, when you got a white hair or a white beard or any type of thing in fiction, you're considered like one of the OGs, and you're one of those people that should not be messed with. Today, I'll be going over this being known as Highfather, an actual deity. He's one of the most powerful new gods. He's a ruler of New Genesis. He exists beyond the bounds of time and space. In the past, his name was Izaya, the Inheritor. Probably not saying that right. No grammar Nazis allowed on this channel, please. And he is billions of years old. And how strong is he? He's one of those characters where he evidently has a true self, kind of like how true self, dark side and stuff. He makes like little emanations of himself to go in the multiverse, things like that, right? But before I go any farther, thank you to all that have donated to the channel. Appreciate it a lot. This is basically an introduction to the fourth world. It was stated, the final moment came with the fatal release of indescribable power, which tore the home of the old gods asunder, split into great halves, and filled the universe with the binding death flash of its destruction. And then there was a new light. So basically, after the death of the old god, the new gods were born, like Highfather, and people like Darkseid, of course. He's one of those guys, he has every power you can think of, energy blast, telekinesis, super strength, super durability. So a lot of his feats are going to be straightforward. If you're not strong enough to fight him, you're probably not going to get in a slugfest with him because the durability matches with his punching power. He's not a glass cannon, things like that, right? It states here in his lore, Highfather can manipulate tremendous amounts of energy for his own purposes through his staff. Yep, he has standard gear, which is linked with the inconceivable power of the source. Darkseid once rendered the staff useless, but it was since reestablished its link with the source and regained his powers. As Izaya, Highfather was a superb hand-to-hand combatant. Yes, he has fighting skills with all this raw power he has. However, he left the ways of combat behind when he took on the role of Highfather, but he still has a lot of skills. Right? For those that are new to DC, it's similar to how the Speed Force powered all the speedsters in the entire like DC multiverse or omniverse. It's kind of like how the Source is when it comes to Highfather. He's linked to that, but I would say the Source is even better. You know what I mean? If one thing would be better than the Speed Force, I would say is the Source, right? Something like that, right? For example, this is where the three-dimensional people resides, and this is where Apocalypse, New Genesis, and people like Darkseid's true self and Highfather's true self reside. They're bigger than the multiverse. They're literally too big to fit inside this three-dimensional space, if that makes any sense, right? But hopefully I'm not mumbling too much. Let's get into it quickly, right? Think of him as a peacekeeper, so don't be surprised if he doesn't have that many feet. His whole point is to be a peacekeeping type of being after all, right? You got more lore for it. It states here, strongest of the new gods, Highfather. Bonded to the source, he could seek its guidance with direct communication and manipulate its boundless energy through his golden staff. It states down here, it is the life equation and its power is a part of Wonder Staff. I've mentioned the Quintessence before. He's an affiliation with the Quintessence, beings like the Phantom Stranger, Zeus, super powerful people, even like the Wizard, Spectre, stuff like that, Ganthith, you know, that type of thing. The strongest beings like in our residual universe. He goes to staff meetings and stuff like that with these type of guys. Hey guys, we got a staff meeting, we got to discuss business, right? Of course, he can do cool stuff like take out fleets with this staff, things like that, energy projection. That one time he was able to send all the forces of Apocalypse fleeing because you don't want none of him. Super powerful beings like Light Ray, implied to be nothing to Highfather, know your place, turns him into a ball of mud because he's that freaking powerful. Not to mention that he's able to hit him with ease, showing that he's pretty fast. Light Ray is a speedy type of character. I think we all agree that when it comes to raw physical strength, Orion is up there with Superman Tears. Light Ray is up there with Orion type characters for sure. In this particular occasion really proves it, going blow for blow, and it's not one-sided in the very least. Remember that Light Ray is so strong, he accidentally created a star while he was weakened because he's that powerful, right? These type of people are that powerful. And Highfather kind of made him seem like a piece of trash. Remember that Light Ray is able to do stuff like this to Mongo, another Superman type character. Just blitzing him all around him like nothing. Not to mention circling around Apocalypse thousands of times in a very short amount of time. Yeah, this is what happens when he tried to get bucked with Highfather. You know what I mean? Lesson learned. He obliterates 6 Darkseid powered up clones, of course, because they ain't nothing without, you got to be the real Darkseid to fight me, right? You got to love some cool abilities like him being able to search the cosmos for characters like Light Ray, because that's one of his many abilities, cosmic awareness. Highfather feels disrespected that Orion thinks he can restrain him. He even states here, you think you can restrain the High Lord of New Genesis when I can spin you into a cosmos of torment or cut open your heart? It's implied that Highfather is above him. You remember how characters like Darkseid have this thing known as the Omega effect, Omega beams, that type of thing. Well, Highfather got his own thing. The Alpha Bullets, the Alpha effect, it's the opposite of the Omega effect. That's why he can consistently match Darkseid, which makes a lot of sense. More proof he's in those All-Father levels is that his will and power can travel to every corner of existence. Such is the might of his power, such is the urgency of the moment. You know, that's what they say. Alpha bullets are stated to quote-unquote never miss, never, I guess. Shuts down this guy's arrow discs. Does this every day. He can project himself to Superman when he wants someone to see him or wants to get his attention. Opens a boom tube. His senses are just insane. He can even sense Darkseid's corruption. He can just sense it. And yes, he can even imply to phase through stuff because he's Highfather. I don't even know how this is possible, but he can hide himself from the Mother Box's senses, evidently. It states here, Mother Box, I can't find Highfather. Please tell me where to look for him. Sealed himself off. What does that mean? He's confused. He's pulled Orion out the source, cloaked himself from primitive beings. His power is so great he can accidentally disintegrate creatures that were created by other younger gods. He created a boom tube without even needing a Mother Box. Because he can just open portals because he's that strong. One of my favorite moments, I brought this up in one of my other videos. There's a time he fused together with other deities like Zeus. Created the One. Ain't that crazy? He can erase folks' memories because he can do that type of stuff. He can depower folks like stripping this human of them old god powers. He can go in the mind and meddle with the mind of dozen heroes. Like, you're going to listen to me today. Oh, by the way, he can teleport folk back. No, boom tube. Why not add? In my personal opinion, the best way to really measure how strong Highfather's blast power is, he was 1/5 of the power needed. It was called the cynic of cosmic power. Right here, Dr. Fate says, contributed to something that blew up a universe. He was 1/5 of this power. Darkseid was as well, and it's also a feat for Orion, things like that, and even Etrigan. Of course, this is probably the best measurement we could actually get on it. I don't want to do no limits fallacies and just say, oh yeah, he's just infinite 3D, you know what I mean? But observable universe, this was calculated, this would be in the produce multi-galaxy levels of blast power, or if we're not lowballing him, he would definitely be able to produce observable universe levels of a blast power, considering how big the DC universe is compared to other universes. Being able to contribute 1/5 of dimensional busting power or blasting power in this universe would, then you could just level a normal universe with one blast, you know what I mean? Skyfather type stuff. Right? And that's dangerous because this dude is this strong with just raw power, but he has versatility with it too, like telepathic powers and stuff like that, energy absorption, stuff like that. You just got to respect the power. He blocks blasts from Mr. Miracle. What if I told you he's the one that gifted Orion with the Astral Force? It states here, to better make him the warrior he might need to be. Highfather is so powerful, he's even shown to be able to create ridiculously powerful beings with his own power, like Tachyon, for example, a very powerful being. And Highfather just created him because he's just that strong, right? I think we all can agree that anything Tachyon can do, Highfather can do better. Well, Tachyon has created stuff like black holes before, so I'm just letting you know. This same guy was able to turn off Green Lantern powers, just giving you an idea of how, Highfather created this guy. The quantum field, Flash's speed field, Lantern's power ring, energy, all different, all the same. All aspects of the one power that flows through me, the source. Tachyon has all this stuff within him. This is also lore for Highfather. He can channel and manipulate the God wave. Like I said, whatever this guy can do, Highfather can do, but even better. I don't want to do no limits fallacies and just say he just beats everybody, but look, right? This is basically an extension of Highfather, right? He says, a being of limitless power, there's very little Tachyon cannot do. It states here, Tachyon gained virtual omniscience and omnipotence as an avatar of the source. Highfather made this guy. It states here, became one with the universe when Highfather of the new God stripped away Sander's corporal self and transformed into the living embodiment of the source. And this is the type of stuff he can do to Green Lantern folk. Well, he is of the source after all. He can restore power. In this occasion with this clone of Orion. He even restored the Legion of Superheroes. It states here, I am but a shade brought back from the dead. You know, he's not nowhere near his full power and he's able to do things like this. But he states here, still my power will serve the cause. Like, he's seriously amping people up to be able to fight Darkseid. Like, for example, he amped up Superman and Supergirl to fight Darkseid. It states here, I care not what power Izaya's ghost, aka that's Highfather, have granted you, I am Darkseid. He's shown on more than one occasion to be a threat to Darkseid, comparable to characters like Darkseid restraining Darkseid, right? He took an attack from Orion plenty of occasions, recovering rather quickly, might I add. Primitive being. Get out of my way. He has insane just raw speed. Like, he flies to the source wall with Darkseid in like literally a couple moments. This should put him in the lowballing the snot out of him 20 quintillions of times the speed of light. Like, imagine this right quick. Imagine the speed of light multiplied by the quintillions. And that's how fast he would need to move to be just fly there like that. That's some speedster type stuff. Like, imagine being able to travel around the world 7 times in a second Multiply that by quintillions. That's how fast Highfather can be. And being real, he's over 20 quintillions and 30 or 40 quintillions times faster than light. With that feat alone, with raw speed, nothing really contradicting it. They are higher dimensional beings. And no, it was not teleportation. You can see the panel. It's literally them flying, moving at unthinkable speed. Ridiculous, guys. He's matched Darkseid in Strength Lock. When he was Izaya the Inheritor, he one-shotted Steppenwolf. Don't want to jerk him off or nothing, but yeah, he has been KO'd before, like this killing glove Darkseid had. He survives though, but it was supposed to kill him. Like Darkseid be making tech. Yeah, Darkseid's smart. Don't ask. As Izaya the Inheritor, let me flex off Darkseid soldiers. He even beats Darkseid's brother Drax in an arm wrestle. I feel like being able to empower people, you can get an idea of how strong he is by how much power he can just give out freely without really costing him much of his power. You know what I mean? Like him empowering things, him lending his power, power borrowing, stuff like that. That's a good way to judge how strong he is. Like for example, if you can just casually give out black hole levels of blast power, you must have a lot of reserves to the point where you can give out way more. If you can just, oh, here's black hole level power, next person, here's enough power to blow up a star. Hey, here's enough power to blow up a planet. Like if you got that kind of power, then your power at full power must be leagues above that if you can just casually give that out with no effort. You know what I mean? That's an example of that, right? Like one time he was able to lend his power out. Here, I pass my power to you, Atana, power to build, to give form to the dreams of heaven. Able to create this town out of nothing because of Highfather lending power. As power of Tachyon is, man, there's even chances where he got empowered by Highfather even more. Recreates and restores this super town. Gods of New Genesis have lacked focus. You know, that's why. There's this being known as White Witch that was channeling his power, was able to warp reality. So that gives you another occasion of how strong he is. When other people are channeling his power, this is the type of stuff they can do. Different people with alpha powers, like Scott, for example, has one shot at beings like Light Ray. Alpha Faith is shown to be able to return people back to life. Banish the Black Racer. Lesser new gods can do this, if that makes any sense. When using all your alpha powers, you can bring back a lot of people from the dead. They stay here to bring all those who died back to life, to bring Barter back to life. He believed it drained all his alpha powers, but it didn't evidently. I still have them. I thought I used them all up. People, and all this is respect to Highfather, even though this is not him in these panels. He uses to drain Thor and one-shot him in the process. Yes, DC does have a Thor, for those that are curious. All this retconning can get a little confusing in DC. He does appear in New 52 run. Technically, he's a higher dimensional being. He shouldn't technically be retconned, but for confusion sakes or whatever DC decides to do, he probably will have some different things about him. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to go over it like this. Let me go over a little bit of things he's done in the New 52 run right fast. A lot of similar abilities, a lot of similar feats, right? He can sense the destruction that's about to happen, but didn't actually happen yet. He just has really good cosmic awareness. He can even sense Darkseid's movement through the universe. Of course, since he's a new god, he's immune to diseases, right? That's only fair, right? Once again, in this era, he's again comparable to New 52 Darkseid. You know how New 52 Darkseid be team busting the league and stuff. That's a big enough deal. He took these Omega beams that ended up blowing up a planet in the process. And Darkseid in this era is ridiculously strong as well. Love New 52 Darkseid. Got a video about him as well. Check it out. And I have a video about White Lantern Kal Rayner. I showed a little bit of this in that video, but he was kind of like really unaffected by White Lantern Kal Rayner distorting reality, stuff like that. Highfather be like, just keep hitting me with your Star Sapphire ring as much as you want because you're just gonna run out of energy trying to hurt me with your ring. You know what I mean? See how he says it's dead? Wasted all your energy on Highfather. He's good. Green Lanterns are always black hole level or interns in general, right? This is what happens when characters that are very powerful, like John Stewart, try to hit him with constructs. Like they shatter against his arm. He can take attacks from them because he's just that powerful. Right? Team Buster status, right? And new god weapons and stuff. It's how you can just casually restrain Wonder Woman tier beings like New 52 Wonder Woman. Get back Templar Guardians. Stay tier. Perhaps I can create a rift in the outer shell. Look at all this. He was able to stalemate Darkseid in a fight for 7 straight days. This is the same Darkseid. Be literally fighting the whole league, including Superman, on a consistent basis. Highfather ain't no joke. And he fought him for 7 straight days. I'm just saying. And I can break energy shields from lanterns. Power level 53%, power level 77%, power level 20%. Shatters it. Breaks out of John Stewart's constructs. Does this to John Stewart. Parallax Sinestro gets just tossed around. Parallax Amp Sinestro. Okay, you know what? I'm done. Remember when Parallax has possessed different beings, like 0 Hour for event, all this stuff is still Parallax. You know, it's gonna cause Crisis on Infinite Earth's destruction type of stuff. My father is fighting Parallax Sinestro. Yes, I know this was before the retcon, but like, look, Parallax is powerful in any continuity. He can still contact people from across the universe. He defeated Kyle in a mind battle. And of course, he can still battle for remove people by teleporting them away, right? So how strong is Highfather in general? Definitely a Skyfather, obviously, you know, but he's even higher when you want to count his true self or higher dimensional self. He's one of those people where you would consider him to have higher dimensional existence. This guy was able to freeze Darkseid's Omega beams mid-flight, my dude. When I say he got energy blast, he can fire energy blasts bigger than New Genesis, the actual planet like I showed earlier. And yes, he can indeed drain energy out of target. But it's the alpha bullets. He can split his attacks out and hit multiple people at once. Energy protective barriers of light, even circular shields. He was strong enough to fuse Apocalypse and New Genesis with his powers. They were actually warped together. I mean, his alpha bullets were able to gather people from across time, for Pete's sake. Wouldn't you say Avatar creation would be convenient, especially if you're trapped in the source wall? He can shield himself from a god-killing plague. It was stated by Martian Manhunter that the new gods are hard to touch telepathically. Now, let me go back to Tachyon for a second. This is the being that Highfather created, right? So all those fundamental forces, quantum field, the speed force, are just mere aspects to this guy. But what's Tachyon's opinion on Highfather? Okay, so Tachyon is this powerful. What is his opinion on Highfather? Tachyon considers Highfather to be in another league, though. That gives you an idea of how strong he is, considering how strong Tachyon is. Highfather even explains that Tachyon is his avatar right here. When all is said and done, they are high dimensional beings. Like, when I say that, I mean I literally mean, but they are platonic concepts actually bigger than the actual universe. Higher dimensional beings. The ones we see on the earthly planes are usually known as emanations. Here's lore for you right here. The new gods are incredibly powerful living ideas from a kind of platonic archetypal world. Should be comparable in size to characters like Darkseid, like in his true form. Some will call it the Godhead Darkseid, who is large enough to fall over the entire multiverse. Highfather should be like this as well in his non-emanation form. Proving more of the lore of Highfather, is this what happened when Darkseid's fall caused him to time itself to break? Damaged the Warrior of Worlds, which contains the 5-dimensional space of Bleed. Darkseid doing so nearly caused a multiversal singularity. Oh my goodness, that ridiculous. Here, it was stated here, these walls, nothing left that isn't Darkseid. Watch this video on top of my Darkseid video, it really helps out. Or this one might actually have a little bit more details on that. Well, guys, I hope that wasn't too much to dissect. Well, now you know how strong Highfather is. How strong do you think he is? Do you think he's too strong? Do you think he's overpowered? How do you like the emanation or avatar thing? Hey, when he's trapped in the source wall, he can just make an avatar of himself. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Base state, he's a Skyfather tier. Real state, non-emanation, higher dimensional being, above time and space, bigger than the actual universe. That type of thing. Post some comments down below. Let me know what you all think. I will see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed this presentation of how strong is Highfather. Respect him, right?